I've been working on refining my first strategy from the NFL betting data that I scraped back in December of 2023. If you're interested in that, you can watch the video or get the data from my GitHub using the links in the description. And if you find the data useful, please star the repository. This dataset consists of money lines, spreads, and totals for all regular season games between 2007 and 2021. Significantly, it contains both opening and closing lines for each bet type. Bets for NFL games are typically made available a week before the game. This is the opening line. The line can change throughout the week as new money comes in, then the line at game time is known as the closing line. The money line could be interpreted as the win probability for each team. So I made the base assumption that the change in odds between the bet open and game time is of equal magnitude and in the opposite direction for each team. That would look something like this. Now if we add in the data, we could see that it mostly follows our predicted trend line. Furthermore, if we color the points differently according to who won or lost, we see some areas where one color dominates. The next step was to find some way to automatically define the region. I began by using various geometries with a differential evolution algorithm to optimize the parameters. Some of the shapes performed better than others. Ultimately, the most successful was a triangle. Next, I varied the number of training years for the model and found that it generally does quite well. We can see that it averages positive returns regardless of how many years it trains on. However, there are some issues with these results that make this method unusable as a sports betting strategy. First, training on 7 years is the only technique that never returns negative, and it returns less than 1% 3 times. Second, the strategy performs uniquely poorly in 2018, with only 2 of the techniques netting positive returns. These drawbacks introduce substantial risk to the model. As sports bettors, we need something more robust, something that is incapable of negative returns. To do this, I knew that I needed something more powerful than my simply defined geometric regions, so I used a Gaussian process to classify the data. A Gaussian process is a probabilistic method that gives a confidence interval for the predicted function. After training the model, I used it on new games to predict the outcome, along with the probability that our prediction was correct. If the probability of a certain outcome was beyond a defined threshold, called the prediction threshold, then I placed the bet. Here's what the classifier output looks like. Bright yellow is a home team win, and dark blue is a win for the away team. The color scale ranges between these values according to the probability. For example, the green regions, a mix of blue and yellow, indicate an uncertain prediction from the model. We can see here that the data appears to match quite well. Now we need to vary the prediction threshold and number of training years to test for model robustness. Here are the results. I've hidden the threshold values, but you can clearly see that some regions net positive returns. If we look further into those regions, we can find a range of threshold values that net positive return for all seasons when using at least 7 training years. This means that any variation of this strategy would have been successful if implemented at some point between 2014 and 2021. Now, these results are sufficiently risk-free enough to implement as my first NFL betting strategy. My goal is to create an ensemble of at least a dozen betting strategies by the start of the 2024 NFL season. I will continue refining this model as the season approaches to maximize returns, but this is the basic layout of my first strategy. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you'd like to follow along as I develop more strategies. I live stream this project on a regular basis, so come watch me work. Thanks for watching. Good luck betting.